Hello, welcome to IT interviews. Today we are going to see what are the types of triggers available in SQL. So trigger is basically a statement which on particular event gets executed whenever you try to perform. So basically there are two types of triggers in SQL. First is DDL trigger, which works at database level. For example, if you want to modify or delete anything of any schema or drop any schema that is stable in database, then DDL triggers are used, whereas DML triggers works at table level. That is, if you want to modify any data of a table, then DML triggers are used. So let's try and see with an example how this DDL triggers works. So first, I'm having one table called activity in my database. So let's check it out. So I'm having one row inserted into that. So I'm going to use the bike stores database. Okay, then the syntax for this DDL trigger is as shown here. DML, sorry, it should be DDL. DDL trigger on database. Okay, here it's a trigger name, and on database is the keywords available in SQL Server. So the alter table and drop table, these are the events. Okay, so what you have to specify that events you want for which the trigger should work, and database name and your trigger name. So what does this trigger does? This trigger basically works whenever you are trying to alter in any table or drop any table in bike stores database. Okay, let's create this trigger first. You can see command has been completed. So this trigger has been created. Let's try and drop this activity table. See, you can see you cannot alter or drop on this table. Okay, the transaction has ended in trigger. Patch has been aborted. So I've also specified the rollback here, and this message has been printed. Let's see whether this table still exists. So basically, our DDL trigger is working. So it's basically avoiding the alter and drop commands on database. Let's check it out now. DML trigger. So I'm having a brands table as well. Let's check it out. Okay, this is having brand ID and brand name. So what does this DML trigger is doing? This is the syntax for to create DML trigger. Here, after on, your table name is here, and these are the operations which you want to perform on the table. So when you perform any insert, update, or delete on this table, you will see this message, and that operation will be rollback. Let's try it out and see whether we can perform this. Okay, then I'm going to create this DML trigger. Let's create this. Command has been completed. So let's try and insert the brand value. I'm going to insert, let's see, MRF. So basically I'm trying to perform insert operation on this table, for which we have created that DML trigger. Okay, see, this message has been printed. You cannot modify this table. Okay, also let's see whether the rollback has worked or not. Let's check it out whether it has MRF brand inserted or not. Okay, so it doesn't have that. Okay, so it means a trigger is working. So there is another trigger in DML triggers called instead of trigger. Basically, this works whenever you want to perform uh, an alternate operation instead of your specified operation. For example, if you want to delete this table, suppose a user is trying to delete this table, then if you want to log that activity, log that log the user activity in the activity table, and specify with user is trying to delete the stocks table. Okay, so you want to check which user is trying to this delete. So for example, if you want to check with which user is trying to delete this table, then you can create such kind of triggers. Okay, so here it is a instead of trigger, this is the trigger name, and this is my let's give the name the table as activity table. Okay, so let's create this instead of trigger. So here instead of is the keyword, then this delete is the operation. Okay, so you want to perform this operation instead of delete command. Okay, also that's for the safety purpose, you can specify the rollback here. Okay, actually delete won't perform the rollback. Let's move it. Okay, command has been completed. Let's try to delete this activity table. So delete table activity. Sorry, it should be delete from okay, let's check it out. Okay, the operation has been completed. Let's check it out what there are table is value or not. Okay, so the table hasn't deleted. So and we can see the insert query is also working fine. So it has inserted user is trying to delete the stocks table, and table is also not removed, as we can see the old data user has logged in. So